When you find someone who has behaved in a way and you deem it inappropriate, you deem it wrong, you point at it, you condemn it, you bring all the evidence about how wrong it is, they're spilling the oil in the Gulf. How bad are they? How wrong is that? We just want to ask you, how does it feel when you come to that conclusion? And what's really interesting is almost everyone would say, what happened and what I'm observing is what's causing me to feel bad. And we say, not true at all. Seems like it, we know, because you didn't feel bad before you focused on that. So it seems like it's that behavior which you would like to take back. You would like them to have never done it. You would like them to never do it again. You would like them to admit their culpability. You would like them to cry uncle. You would like them to condemn themselves. You would like them to... But what's making you feel bad is not the behavior you're focused upon. What's making you feel bad is the discordant opinion that you have formed in your pointing at them and calling them the bad one, when the source within you will not do that, regardless of their behavior or skin color. Interesting, isn't it? Don't you want to feel the guidance that you were born with present in every thought that you think? Don't you want to know who you really are? You tell us that. You say, I want to fulfill my reason for being. I want to find my life's purpose. I want to get on my path. I want to be all that I can be. I want to feel good. I want to be good. I want to be of value. I want to be an uplifter. We hear these things from you all day, every day. And we say, the answer to all of these things that you fervently desire is alignment with who you really are. And nothing less will serve you. Nothing less will guide you, and nothing less will serve you. And that's what we call the art of allowing. The art of feeling the frequency of my two vibrational aspected being, and deliberately bringing myself, by virtue of what I choose to think, into vibrational alignment and allowing with the wholeness that I have become, with the goodness that I am, with the expanded version of me. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is always good to come together with those like you who are coming to know who you are. Jerry and Esther ordered a beautiful piece of furniture in California to be delivered to their new house in Texas. And they waited a long time for it. And when it came, it was all wrapped up. It was a console table, and it was wrapped up, really well wrapped up. And Esther was so happy that it was so well wrapped up, because she knew that it would be in very good condition, so well wrapped up. And the nice men who brought it, the white glove service who brought it, that were going to unwrap it and place it where they wanted it to be, as they unwrapped it and Esther looked at it, she was so thrilled with the beauty of this magnificent table. But it was upside down on the dolly. And when they picked it up to turn it over, the top fell off the bottom, and the bottom went crashing to the floor and broke its leg and made a hole in the floor and caused Esther to utter something we can't repeat, or it would have to be edited, and caused Jerry to utter something even worse. And, well, it always sounds worse coming from him because it's so out of character. And so the men stood there with no blood in their faces at all. They were completely good children. No color at all in their face. And Esther said to them, because she'd witnessed it happening, she saw the top was just inadequately attached to this very heavy base. There was no way they could have turned it over, given the circumstances that they were dealing with, without what happened happening. And Esther immediately said to them, this was not your fault, this was not your fault, this was not your fault. The top was attached with very small screws. So then Esther and the lovely woman who ordered it began calling the company to find out what could be done. First, can we get a new base? Second, will you pay for it, since we were sort of booby-trapped here. And over a sequence of many, many emails, it was concluded by the people who sold the piece that it was not their responsibility. And Esther doesn't really disagree with that because they weren't there. They didn't have their hands on it. They didn't drop it. They probably weren't there when it was wrapped up either. In other words, trying to point culpability is really a sort of ridiculous thing to try to do. And Jerry and Esther are very much believers in taking responsibility for their own experience. And so after much conversation, Esther's email was, we will find a way of repairing it, or we will find a way of replacing it. Let's just leave this where it is. And right before she came to that very powerful conclusion, some bedroom furniture was delivered. Now, Jerry and Esther aren't there. They're only getting reports through the telephone. And a big console was cracked. Right down the front, cracked. The picture shows the crack. Now, since Esther wasn't there, she didn't hurt anyone. In fact, her response was to laugh about it, because it's really getting to be funny how much evidence she is receiving as to the vibrational frequency she's got going on about furniture delivery. Or about people doing what they're supposed to do, or about people paying attention to what they're doing, or about people thinking about what they're doing. In other words, there are many tentacles to this. But Esther's email to her friend and decorator was, let's just not talk about any of this until the curse lifts. And it was Esther's humorous way of really wanting to take responsibility for everything that's happening in her experience. Now, anyone looking at this, of course, the people who sold the furniture, their email was really funny. My mother, who owns the shop, is tired of having to pay for other people's mistakes, she said. And Esther is laughing. That's an odd thing for her to say to us. A very odd thing. But as Esther and Jerry and Carol are discussing all of this, they realize that there's no way out of this. In other words, you can't stand in the middle of this as it stands and figure it out and shift your vibration to begin getting different results. Esther's first response was, hold all furniture deliveries until later. In other words, let's just stop the action until we get a vibrational grip here. Because we're responding to one thing which is causing us to offer a vibration to it, which is setting us up for the next and the next and the next and the next and the next. And we say, don't you love it when obvious things point out to you how the law of attraction works? Don't you love knowing that even though you didn't break the table and you didn't want it to be broken and you really don't think you expected it to be broken, you responded to it being broken, and it doesn't matter where your vibration was before, you're having a response to a broken table that is not setting you up well for future tables coming. In other words, you just can't get around it. Your response to what is happening in this now reality is causing you to practice a vibration. Now, you can proclaim, and Esther did some of this, not much. You can proclaim, it's not my fault. You can proclaim, hey, it's real. This really happened. You can proclaim how right you stand in relationship to where other people are standing on the subject. You can proclaim that all you want. But the fact of it is, you are having a vibrational response to something that future things are responding to that vibration. And this is the way we want to put it to you in a way that you can really hear it. You are letting reality train your vibrational frequencies. You're letting what is train you. Now, that's all right if what is pleasing, and plenty of it is. If you could be a really good selective sifter and really just scour every moment, every face, every person, every situation, every memory, every idea, every subject, if you could just scour it looking for things to appreciate, what is could serve you so well, because then what is would train you into a frequency that would produce more and more and more and more wonderful things. But if you are problem-oriented, you're not. You know, that's the thing that's so funny. You're not problem-oriented. You are eternally solution-oriented. But most humans are stuck in the problem part of the solution. And so what we want to suggest, some of you have been with us for a while, yes? Some of you have been listening to us for years. Some of you are listening to us on a really regular basis, reading everything that we write, wanting so much to become a vibrational match to your best well-being. We want to say to you that in everything that we've encouraged you to do, and all of it has been with the interest in helping you to clean up your resistance and therefore allow your movement into this vortex where the solutions and the good life that you want is. We have a suggestion that is really simple and really powerful, that if you can hear it on the heels of everything that we've presented to you here today, will serve you maybe better than everything that you've ever heard or attempted or practiced or tried before, all put together. And that is, if you can accept the reality and the validity of this vortex of creation, if you can accept that, yeah, there's a physical reality going on, but there's a vibrational reality going on too. And if you can accept that this vibrational reality is the present tense, real-time, expanded, amended version of who you have become, and you will care more than everything else in your life put together about your relationship with this vortex, your relationship with the inner being, with the God who is within you. If you will care about the existence of this vortex, and you will care about tuning yourself to it, and then when you find yourself in this vortex, which means you're feeling free, or you're feeling interested, or you're feeling frisky, or you're feeling a little elation, or you're just feeling happy, you're feeling appreciation or love. When you find yourself in a moment feeling that, if you will stop and acknowledge, I'm in the vortex. I'm in the vortex. I'm really in alignment in this moment with everything that I am. And you will contemplate that and do everything you can to milk this moment for more vortex time. Meaning you'll practice the vibration of the vortex. What happens when you practice it, it just becomes more familiar. It becomes more chronic. It becomes more natural. It becomes easier to get there next time. It becomes easier to stay there longer. And it becomes easier to recognize when you're off a little. We are eager to talk with you about whatever it is you want to talk about. Nothing is off limits. We're going to drag you kicking and screaming into the vortex, and then we'll affirm with you. Until you acknowledge the two vibrational parts of you and the relationship that they have with one another, you have no guidance. Mm-hmm. It's like what we were talking about at the beginning here today. You're counting on the most loudly squeaking wheel, or you're counting on someone outside of you making the determination and convincing you about the appropriateness or inappropriateness. Mm-hmm. So it just drives you crazy. The only way you can ever be the deliberate creator and therefore the satisfying fulfiller of your reason for being is by recognizing these two vibrational aspects and consciously, deliberately blending the two. Mm-hmm. And the reason we call it the last frontier is because people will get sick, they'll go to several doctors, they'll take all the drugs, they'll have big pieces of their body removed, they'll do everything other than align energy. It's like the last ditch effort. Mm-hmm. We really enjoy seminars with terminally ill people because they pay much better attention. They've given up on all that stuff that doesn't work, of moving all those parts around, and now they're finally ready to do the only thing that ever worked anyway, of adjusting their vibration into the frequency of their very well vibrational body. Mm-hmm. Good time for a segment of refreshment.